relaxing.
Hence not waiting for your eyes to adjust.
It's on the ground. There's a perfect storm out.
Hi, YouTube live audience. Audience of 0 right now, but hey, it's early. I can hold out hope. Someone might want to watch one day. Anyway, I got some mask painting to do. Some mask painting and herring. I'm gonna paint up this piggin. You know what? There's a reason why this was over here. You can see most of the shop. Because as always, I have some shambling to do. Hello! I saw a hi. Alright, so yeah, I have some painting to do this evening and some hair work on some werewolves. And I have to gather some material, so I'm kind of doing a little bit of running around right now. The shop isn't quite back in shape. Although I'm not even sure what shape I want the shop to be in. Hello, everybody. Yes, indeed, we meet again. I'll be painting piggin. The other day I painted this one up, but I don't think I was live at all. So I will knock out that one to look a little bit like this one. Okay. Rob, is your compressor on?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Darn, guys. Getting adjusted here. So yeah, I'll be using an airbrush to base him out, and I'm going to be doing an antique on him, on this piggin. An antique is a technique where you put paint on and wipe it off. And I'm going to use a flexible material called snake skin, which I've started using and I really like. I'm going to drink this soda while my wife is not paying attention. So this is going to be a monster. Well, it kind of is a monster. It's piggin. It's piggin. It's piggin. Oh, what a wonderful toy. This is snake skin. It's from Douglas and Sturgis. It is actually a one-part urethane, but it's got a good rate of flexibility to it, and I like it. So I'll be tinting it with some ink, because this paint job is a little more realistic for what I normally do. So, you know. And this will be a nice dark bait to get in there and pop that skin detail. And I want it pretty translucent, that's why I'm going to put a little bit of ink in with it. So Rob is in the shop with me this evening. Just me and Rob. Rob is knocking out some grunt work. I may make him paint some stuff later. He might be dry brushing some werewolves. Okay. Here we go, here we go, here we go. There we go. Pretty sure it's from a song. And again, I'm putting this on kind of thick. So I'm going to go back with a rag and take some of it off. But this should give me a good base flesh for the pig. But I can then punch up some of the areas darker with the airbrush, but also middle baseline for these deep areas. It's not my I'm kind of always on full-on mask mode. Basically, you guys caught me heading into MHC, and now post-MHC, I'm filling some MHC orders and some internet orders that I got. And I'm just getting these orders ready to ship out. This is crunch time for a lot of haunted houses. A lot of people think that's September. But if you're in crunch time in September, you're late. You're in trouble. So, now this could use a little bit of moisture. Bottle of water sitting right there. And I'm going to just blot up this mask. And take down a little bit of this so that it doesn't look as solid and whole and clean. Still gets some of that rich caramel color that I want for pig skin. But I want this blotchiness and to have this color in the depths. Okay.
Oh, sit down.
You could do one more of that one too, Rob.
No.
Certainly won't hurt anything.
Won't hurt him.
Because the werewolf has been very popular on social media.
Well, yeah, it's awesome. Why would?
And I'll be herring one of my big werewolves this evening. So I have a Pache H. I'm just cleaning the stuff out of it here. I'm going to go with a darker color. It's called Payne's Gray, and that color, it's just a good, black color that isn't quite black. Sometimes black is too black. That does sound a little odd. Cranking down. One of the ways that you would detail with the airbrush, with this one, is it has a turny thing on it, and the tighter down you turn it, the finer the line that you get. So I have a nice fine line on there that I can work with. getting close to time I have to break down and really clean this airbrush up. Or just swap out the heads. And some of these areas I want to be a little more messed up kind of than others. I'll do some nasty veining in there. It's a little rotted. Modeling on the surface. This is a piece that I do want really broken up. I want it to be nasty, gross. And I did some real light work on the last one, and a lot of it went away. So I want to go a little heavier this time. Not just heavier with the lines, but with the pattern. So it's a bigger pattern. I think anybody can deal with a clogged airbrush if it maintains the same level of clog. There we go. Pick it up. Oh boy. I made a mask called Deranged Masks a while back, and those were pretty popular. They were fabric masks. Now they were all different, they were all unique. And that's probably a big part of their popularity. But I've sold over 600 or so of those in the time that I made them. Maybe more. But that's close enough. See, and I'm hitting these wrinkles, and then I'm rubbing it off so it stays in that wrinkle. And this is not going to look phenomenal at this stage. I'm hitting it with a breakup. I want it to be just not all one color. A lot of what I do is big blocks of color, and I don't want that for this mask. All right, let's point the camera over here while I go grab some stuff. Hello, white. Right there, great.
Do what? I'm keeping track of these so that I know when to pull for. 7. Well.
All the needs look good.
Thanks,
Thank
you. Okay. Got that. Nice.
What'd you lose? Absolutely I have, and I probably will later. I will certainly use green on this. Yes, you can, Sean. You normally have to clean a sealer off of it first, and you can use like a naphtha or something to do that with. So give it a good cleaning with like acetone or naphtha, and then you're normally able to either paint right over it or, you know, scrub some of the paint off with a green scrubby. Although that could get into your detail, so just be careful and watch what you're doing. All right, so basically I have my Pache H, which needs a good cleaning, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do a good replacing. There's a little set screw right here underneath that you take out. Or actually, you could just loosen it, but often I take it out. And then I can unscrew this. Now both of these pieces come off. That's the cone of the airbrush, and that's the needle of the airbrush. Both of those are dirty. I have replacements right here. One of the reasons I like the Pache H is that this replacement part package is $10. It's $10 at a hobby store. That's like, you know, that means it's like $5 online. Pache H is a very well-known brand. These parts are carried in a lot. And then a little color cup. And the color cup is like, so there you go. This airbrush, all of its innards are new, basically. It's all now, did I just lose the little set screw? I think that I did. Because it was sitting on the end. You know what? I don't think I'm going to look for it. I think I'm going to go get another set screw off of another Pache H because I have a few. To the thievery. Hey Rob, go say hi to them so we don't freak out.
Don't freak out, we're still here. Sorry, I was eating paninis, and checking on social media, and pouring masks. He's over there rummaging around, looking for parts, I suppose.
Stealing parts.
I love how much it looks.
In sculpting, one of the hard parts that we do is you sculpt something to look soft, or you sculpt to look hard. It's got to look like bone, like that jaw, like the cheek bone and stuff. You have to sculpt it to look like bone, but you're sculpting it out of this doughy, soft clay. And on the airbrushing side, you have to paint it to look fatty. You have to paint it to look stretched. You know, there's just these things that you have to do. Oh, I like this. Got a little bit of the purple magenta. And everything where the color is running through on this is new. So this airbrush should not give me any problems. And I should be able to get a laser thin line out of this guy. Which is not happening. There we go, nice thin line. Perfect, perfect. Again, it's the consistency that I want.
Those paninis may be my favorite thing in West Coast.
Really?
Man, they're up there.
My wife does make good paninis.
Man.
And all I'm doing is I'm doing another breakup pattern on top of the other breakup pattern. This one is a lot more subtle than the black, but you'll see that as we do layer and layer and layer, this is going to calm down. So this is broken the piggin mold. This is one of the last piggins that'll ever be made. So that's exciting. There we go. Now this is not really mask related, but this is shop dinner paninis. Those are good. It also gives me a chance to back up and look at that mask from a distance and see what I have to do. One of the things I have to do, paint the teeth. For the record, yes, I am wearing gloves to protect my hand from chemicals, but eating a sandwich holding those same gloves. I'm your friend, not your smart friend. All right. I don't necessarily have plans to sculpt another piggin. I do have plans to sculpt a mask in a similar vein. 2 masks, actually. And I think that those masks will be popular, but it's almost kind of a genie in the bottle thing. I don't know when I want to let that genie out of the bottle. If that makes any sense. Okay, let's see if this color is too white for the teeth. I think that's pretty good. I don't think that's too white. I think that's going to be very nice. And the color I've already got on the teeth, the nice caramel color that his flesh is. All right, so this guy is probably ready for a little bit more red work. In here needs a little bit, but I want to lighten that up because it's a little dark. Oh, that's nice. the whole concept of this guy is that he has been, he made himself a mask out of several pig carcasses that he sewed together. And I think that's a fun concept. Because often you'll see a pig mask that is just one head that the guy wears, and that's cool, but I don't know. I wanted to do this one a little different. And this is one where there was no other visual inspiration. I just said, I need to get a nice dark color for those stitches. And I know that this magenta is crystal. This is sort of a deep purple weird mix. And what this color is this is everything dark that comes out of my airbrush. It's everything dark that comes out of my airbrush I pour back into this little holder, and that becomes this dark color. Now I'm going to hit all these stitches with that. And that feels really thin to me. Kind of staying in those depths. That's good. Okay. I'll step back from this and take a peek at it and see what it needs. In my face. So this looks a lot heavier on camera than it does in person, which is interesting. So I'm going to calm that down with the airbrush too.
You say the camera has 5, 10 minutes?
Apparently it adds blocks of color. And all I'm doing right now is I'm prepping a bottle that is a paint bottle. And what happens to them is that the paint dries in the 2 little openings that are in it, and that causes clogs. But just poke them with the head of a pin, and you're good as gold. It's my airbrush eraser that'll knock that right back down. You can see how I'm getting it right back to this flesh color, calming down some of what I've done. Now I'll hit it again with dark. That's just layers. Steve Wang painted the Velociraptor heads for Jurassic Park. Each of those paint jobs was 5 weeks. It's been 5 weeks on that paint job. So I can spend an hour or two on this pig. You're right, Rob. These are delicious sandwiches. Bringing back in a little bit of that caramel color to make sure I don't lose that. I want that. I'm going to beef up this purple color. I feel like it's light for some reason, like it doesn't have a lot of color in it. Maybe too much alcohol got poured into there or something. Hopefully I'll see a difference when the mix gets in over what has on there. Yeah, see, it's getting darker. It just didn't have enough oomph to it. This way, this color will be different than the color that I'm going to do on and I have lines up here by the ears and things that I want to hit with this. And I have this set up in such a way where I can't screw it up. I can't screw this up with one pass of the airbrush. It's a slight change with one pass, but I can make that line darker by doing so. That's really nice. Now, when I misted, my teeth got a little muddy, so I'm gonna go back in between all the teeth and paint those lines. So I can get you guys closer for that. Stan Winston is great. Let me see what the questions are here. Well, Chrome, Stan Winston School of Character Arts, someone mentioned, that's pretty great. Yes, Tom Savini has a school in Pennsylvania. There's also the Joe Blasco Makeup Center has a school in Orlando and in a school in Orlando. They also have a school in California. Productions has a school. I think they have one in Canada. So there's places for this. Or get yourself some stuff and make some things. The best education you're going to get is simply from you making stuff. Learn. Figure it out. Just want to hit all these little wrinkles and stuff with some line work, make them pop a little more. And this is a mask that I'm not too worried about getting it too muddy because I'm doing that more realistic paint job, and mud happens, you know. And I'm not trying to hide that staple over there either. That's what holds the strap on. But they made this mask so it's not like it's something skinned that wouldn't have staples in it. Exaggerate that a little bit. Okay, and I'm getting close to where I want to put blood on this guy. How's that looking, Rob?
Gross.
I think I want to do a little more white on the face, on the teeth, I mean. Pop those teeth a little more. They're not as stand out as I want.
You gonna put hair on him too?
Yeah, he'll get hair.
Gross.
Sorry, I'm taking a bite of panini.
I almost think you should make one pickled.
And what color is a pickled pig?
Kind of white. Kind of like a thin white.
Those teeth pop a lot more.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Is that clear? Hey Rob, can you pull up this video on your phone and read me some comments as they come?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to switch this out, pour this back in my little paint tub. That happens. All right. So I'm going to run a little bit of carburetor cleaner through my airbrush. Just, can you look at the comments?
I'm trying to.
And kill your sound, please. That's going to freak them out. Carburetor cleaner, best thing to clean an airbrush. Works really well. Last one I saw was about makeup school. So this is Rip City Haunt Sauce. Really like their blood. See them?
No.
Okay.
I tried.
So someone just asked about the mold and I destroyed it. I did. I destroyed it because it wasn't giving me quality pieces. Just tap that every now and then.
What inspired you to start Stilt Bee Studios?
So Stilt Bee Studios started because I make stilt costumes, or I'd kind of been a stilt guy for a long time. And there were companies that dabbled in stilt costumes, but nobody was dedicated to it. At that point in time, you know, Streamline Studios was a major player. They barely exhibited shows anymore. I'm sure they got other stuff going on and life gets in the way and all that. But they had a stilt costume out. You know, a couple people had some stilt costumes, and they did one or two. And at that point in time, Kevin at Gorgalore, he didn't have a ton. Well, he doesn't do stilts. He does, you know, really big puppets is what he does, and he does it very well. But I wanted to be the guy that people went to for stilt costumes in the haunt industry.
How many times a day do you beat Rob?
Do I beat Rob?
Yeah, Mike.
Only when he doesn't listen. So between 12 and 16. Yeah. Yeah, just that many times. Not a lot, really. I did have Rob beating elbow at one point in time. Really just the repetitive motion of punching him over and over again caused a minor injury in my arm. But it's gotten better. Now, how often should I beat Rob? Every time he has an impure thought.
Oh, we're never getting out of here.
You wouldn't make it, would you?
Neither would you.
Yeah, I don't want to work that hard.
Nope.
All right, so with this haunt sauce, I'm just fixing it up. Doing the edge.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Got out of focus.
So now that's in decent shape. However, what I want to do is I wanted to blood the crap out of this. So now I'm opening this puppy up all the way, and I'm just slobbering on the blood. These piggins, I said they would be fancy. And what I said they would have is I said they'd have more blood on them than other ones. That's a slobbery amount of blood, which they do have more blood than the other piggin. And he's going to get hair as well. Michael, are you at work? Let's get a little more in there. Maybe there's blood around the pig's eye. That's always good. Sometimes I've got blood in weird places.
The painted panini.
Panini. Good for you. That is delicious.
Do you have a favorite mask that you've made?
Yes. It's the werewolf I'm about to work on. But I've made some good ones in my time. I made a bat creature mask for my buddy Frank a while ago. He plays a bat character. That's a pretty good one. And this werewolf that I've made recently is pretty good too. And it should always be the last mask that you made, because you should keep working to get better at what you do. I keep working to get better.
One would.
All right, so I am definitely going to do some furring this evening. And Rob, could you clear me off that table by putting all of that stuff on that table?
Yeah.
Thanks. We're going to swap the shop around a little bit. While that piggin is drying, set up to put hair on a werewolf. And I'll use that head right there, okay?
This one?
The one that's on the table. Guys, this werewolf I'm talking about. Roger. Now these ears look a little ridiculous because the head is bald. When the head is bigger because of hair, the ears won't look near as big. I just like wearing this. I'm just going to wear this all the time. Yeah. Okay. I like that. Big Mac and large fries, please.
Yeah, we go through a lot of that.
What's that?
We go through a lot of that.
We do indeed. Okay, so this needs to get put on this head over here.
Oh. That is. I was in the middle.
So, Skullberg, one more time. Gotta beat Rob.
17.
17 today. Those bits can just go on my table. And I'm putting this down here so I can mark out the pattern for the mask. It needs a pattern. And actually, Rob, in my car is a roll of gray fur. Grab that.
Yeah, awesome.
Great. Put this piece on him. That's nice. I tried to sculpt them so the teeth really fit together like a real predator's would. And what I have to do is I have to find the way that I have to cut fabric in order to get it to do what I want on this head. And you can drop that on the floor right back here. Because I can't just do it in fur. I need to find out what I need. So I'm going to make a pattern in a different kind of fabric. And while I'm gone, Rob is going to tell you.
Now, the problem with it is our doorways are about 36, 40 inches wide. This particular cage was 48 inches, 46 inches wide. It was too wide to fit through the door. So, what we had to do is put a hoist on one of the ceiling support beams and then chain lift it 8 feet in the air. It was all hands on deck for this one. We were able to move it over one wall, lower it, take down the hoist, move a scissor lift around to the other side, go back up to the ceiling, attach it again, and repeat the process. Nobody got hurt, nothing got broken. It took us the better part of an hour to do it, I think. I'd say about an hour.
Yeah.
And it took all of us to do it. There was about 3 men, two men per rope pulling the guide ropes, so because we could only lift it to a certain point, and then we had to pull it against the weight over the wall. So here's the wall, lift it over the wall, lower it, lift the thing over, do it again. The second room we did it, we were literally threading a needle. There was pre-existing cage walls that we'd built in there as permanent installations. I mean, we could have taken them out, but we decided to thread the needle, so to speak. And it's a gentle process. It was videotaped for posterity, I think. I think somebody did videotape it to see it done. It was the second biggest move, I think, in Dark Hours history as far as moving a prop or scenic element.
Probably third.
Third?
Third.
Because the one I heard about today was the Distortions tree.
Yes.
Which it's a big tree. I mean, if you've seen the TV show Making Monsters, Making Monsters, it was shown in that TV show.
The tree.
The tree, not us. The tree, big tree.
Well, I was in the episode.
Oh well, Alan was in the episode. It's Alan Holmes. There we go. He's gonna hair this thing. And this wonderful glossy wet-nosed werewolf that he made.
When did Dan's Haunted House open?
5 years ago. 2000. Okay. I really enjoyed working at Dan's, but I got a better opportunity.
Dan's is awesome.
Dan's is awesome.
I love trail haunts. I owned a trail haunt for years and years.
It's also Japanese themed, which I remember.
So I'm using fabric to put onto this. And what I'm doing with it is I'm using the fabric to make a pattern for the hair. Go to the back and make sure all my lines are transferred. All right, so that's the back. And actually, I've got a silver Sharpie because that's going to show up well on the black fabric. So now I get this out. I lay this down. I'm going to cut that out with a razor blade. So I'll need a razor blade. Oh yeah, go ahead.
I got some basic.
Cool. Oh, okay.
Aw. Fuck.
And this is a dart that's in here that happens behind the ear. And this guy will actually, he'll end up getting ear fur as well. But I'm not going to make a pattern for the ear fur because A, they're really small, so I'll just do them with scraps. But also, I can do different shaped ears on each one. Sometimes I do use this type of felt for patterning. I'll use a lot of different things for patterning actually. Canvas works well, felt works well for me. You gotta be careful because if you pull on it weird, this felt will stretch. And you're kind of tearing it apart, is what's happening. I know that this is a dart. Alright, so I'm going to fold this over. I don't have enough, so I'm just going to do a half pattern now. Scissors! And what I mean is a half pattern in order to get a whole head. So you know what, I'm actually going to write that right now. So I'm going to say fold. Dart. Dart. And this is just the back. So there'll be another piece that I've got a pattern for the front. Pretty easy. Just like a dapper. Dapper right there. made the back dart a little bigger because I want this to actually hug the back of the head. Normally my mask hair does not do that, but this time I want it to. Okay, put that down on the ground. Set him off to the side. Come on, Mr. Wolf. Hey, Rob, eat these sandwiches, dude.
Okay.
Werewolf hair. I don't want to eat it. Hair direction is a big deal, so I have to watch which way this hair goes. Just be aware of that if you want to watch this edited and clean. In case you don't know, I have a YouTube channel, which you're watching me on. So if you didn't know, haha, joke's on you. Now this hair runs this way. So it's going down this way now. I'm going to go ahead and cut the back of this out so I can have it laying on the mask. And not only do I want to cut this one out, I also want to put it together before I commit myself to this pattern. This is a very brave dart right here. That's a big old dart in the back of the head, and that's going to do some interesting things. I'm not cutting it on this line. I'm going to trace my center line. This dart I know I like. Yes, I can see that good. There we go. So I have half of my pattern. Flip it over. Give me the rest of it. And I made some corrections right here. I didn't do exactly what this did. I have to make sure that I do the same thing on the other side. This up here I do want to be exact. There we go, that's meeting nicely. And what I did here was I brought this line straight down, and I did this line straight down. And now those match up. Okay. I'm going to rumble around my sharps drawer for a razor blade. These are called Persona blades, and I love them. I have to remember not to cut that center line. takes is this light running over it that I'm doing because these blades are so sharp. I've cut myself with these before and wondered where the blood was coming from long before I realized I cut myself.
They are crazy, crazy sharp.
It's like a laser.
They're used for cutting hair.
Yeah, they're made for cutting hair.
How funny that you're using them to cut
Fur.
fur.
It looks like I'm just running over it, but look, it's cut it pretty well. This is like commitment right here. Cutting those darts out. I've never done that before on the back of the head. I always let that lay loose. So that's a little different. Set that off to the side. We'll set this off to the side. But that is my werewolf back of the headpiece. Hey, Ezekiel. Ezekiel says hi, Rob.
Hi, Ezekiel.
I didn't cut the fold because I don't want this in two pieces. This is fine in two pieces. The back of the head, the fur direction is perfect. I don't have to mess with it. That's why I'm not cutting the fold. Hey, no problem. I'm glad it helped you on your Krampus costume. It's a wolf.
Go Krampus.
There you go. Hair in my mouth, all over the place on end. That is a 16-yard roll, and that is from a company called Monterey Mills. I buy 3 or 4 of those rolls at a time for different colors of hair. When you buy it like that, it's about $11.50 a yard, which is ridiculously cheap for fake hair.
Yeah.
But go to Joann's. Go to Joann's Fabrics. Go online first and get a 50% off coupon. And then the fur there, that's $30 a yard, is only $15. So if I need hair for one mask, I buy from Joann's. If I'm going to make werewolf costumes, multiple, then I'm going to buy from Monterey Mills. And I'm going to buy probably 2 rolls of fur. Now I put this on the wolf and I make sure it fits. And then I'm going to set up a face piece. We'll see how that do, yo. I can take these gloves off now. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, see, I think that's going to be nice. And this will be the most fitted the back of my heads normally are. Normally this just drapes down and there's a big wrinkle right here. But by doing this, this actually takes away a lot of that mess. Okay, so that's good. I'm bringing that all the way to here. Okay. I'm gonna grab some pins so I can stab that in place, because I love to stab things. I'm a natural stabber. What's that, Rob? You breathe it in?
It doesn't smell good. It did not like being stirred.
I have to make sure that this is going to sit where I want it to sit while the mask is on. And again, I'm going to do this in such a way that both sides are even. When I draw it out, they really won't be even. But I'm going to fold it over and clean it up, and then it will be. Okay. I'll probably be good with just this piece here. Don't take more than you need. Don't bring a gun to a knife fight. I guess that one's okay. Hi, sorry. It did freeze for a little bit. Thank you, Dozer. I appreciate it. The mask hair could come from my beard. And there is a style of Wolfman that I do where I use my beard. It just pops through the open chin hole. But no, smart ass. All right, so here we go. Move him out the way again. That's my piece. I've got to set that up in fur. Now I'm going to transfer my actual fur cuts to paper. This is to make it, and then, but to preserve it, I'm doing this real thick butcher paper that I use a lot. Have enough. I don't right there, but I do here. Okay. Perfect. This should match up pretty easy on the sewing machine. I'll have to sew these two halves together. Flip. Is that wrong?
I said, I was quoting Lawrence of the Lake. What's the trick? Not minding that it hurts.
Okay. Neat, super. Put this here and closing in on this. This is where the jaw will open and close. And this first one is for a client at a haunt in Florida. They're awesome. Okay, I now have a face piece, and I will have a pack of werewolves going in the shop. This fur is not terribly expensive because I buy it in bulk. I buy lots of rolls of it at a time. This fabric is about 25, 30 bucks a yard in the fabric store. But go there with a 50% off coupon. Go to Joann's. They're the best because of the coupons. Man, with that, I can live with this. See? All right, I'm pulling the sewing machine down.
Looking at the colors. There's bruise on the bottom. Sure.
That's probably pooling blood.
That is the worst sprain I've ever had. By far. That's nasty. It's probably just got mold.
Yep.
Old.
All right, so yes, I'm going to have many werewolves cooking up here, including some Wolfman masks that are over there too, which are going to be nice. In my opinion, they're going to be nice. You may not like your werewolves the same way that I like my werewolves. How do I like my werewolves? Awesome. That's how I like them. All right, have power to the sewing machine. That is. I'm going to treat this piece first because there's some darts that have to be sewn up. Checking my stitch. Looks like kind of the stitch that I want. Okay. Checking. Thread. Cool. Okay, that dart is sewn up. Now I sew up this dart over here. I've never done darts in the back of the head. I've just left those big wrinkles. And I just think that that looks a little bit unprofessional. And I should be better than that now. Not like I need a lot of extra room or anything. It's a mask. Just gonna be my head in there. Perfect. Yeah, I'll sew up these darts too. Oftentimes I don't sew up these little darts like this because I don't sew up the little darts like this simply because they I glue them down. It gives me a little more playroom, but let's just see what sewing this up does that causes any problems. Hopefully I've gotten good enough at this, I don't have to do as much built-in slop as I used to do. Built-in slop is just room for me to, make mistakes and still have room to fix and correct. I don't think I need it at this point. Or at least it'll be a cleaner product without it, whether I need it or not. Is building in slop giving yourself room to maneuver, or planning for imprecision? And I'd rather be precise. Okay, so that's going to be there. That fits around that ear very nicely. That comes down here. Comes down here. Okay, so I am ready to begin. I'm not a big pinner. I don't pin stuff very much. Probably should pin a little more. Got that, Rob? These don't take a lot. It's not hard. You just have to have a little bit of knowledge to put this together. And honestly, I think it's just as much confidence as it is knowledge. If you have that, you'll be okay. I'm doing a pretty tight seam allowance on this. Gotta watch it folding under, wanting to sew itself shut. You about out of here, Rob?
Huh?
Are you about out of here? What's up to you?
All right, well, I'm finished. Get this plastic.
What you have, 2 to base tonight?
Do what?
Did you have only 2 to base tonight?
Yeah, 2.
Gotcha.
And I got those pouring, so I'll wait till.
Gotcha, okay.
You want me to base one out and then dry brush one
All right, so here we are. Here is the piece. As it goes on, array, gotta come under here. And I will glue this on with contact cement. Oh yeah, that's gonna look really nice. I think that's gonna be good. Okay, let's get this sucker glued on so we can see this mask on and all together. I've been waiting for that too. Peel. Okay. Peel. Contact cement. Shelf, shelf for shelf. Start a what?
That witch.
Okay. Where did you let me hurry?
I know.
This is Weldwood contact cement from Home Depot. Contact cement you want to put on both sides, really, in order for it to get a really good bond. Now this fur I put on with contact cement because I like the way that it adheres more than I like the way that iron grip adheres. And it does different things chemically. I'm coming all the way down to where I know I need it to be a little loose. I'm getting glue on all those parts that touch the mask. Which foot on it first?
Green. Hey. We're going to go traditional first.
So right now, Rob is painting a mask that we left in the mold. And we left it in the mold hours and hours and hours. Like, I think it was an 11-hour pour.
Yes.
This sucker's bulletproof. I bet in some spots it is 3/8 of an inch thick.
Yeah,
It is thick.
You cannot put it on.
No, you can't put the mask on. It is a pretty painty pile of mask. And I didn't put any here because I need this mask, the jaw, to be mobile. It's the moving jaw mask, so I need that mobility. It is not yet ready. Takes a while. You gotta let this stuff cure and dry and all that stuff. So while I'm waiting, I'm gonna go ahead and set this out of the way. Got my phone plugged in so you guys don't die on me. Hey, Scott. Yes, I will definitely be furring the backs of the ears. Absolutely. I would say the fur is not terribly expensive. As far as fake fur goes, this is probably the cheapest kind of fake fur out there. It looks good, but it's not on the expensive end. There's certainly some that looks a lot worse. That you know, it looks worse. I was getting paper. Here, Rob.
Yeah.
I got you a live studio audience.
Hey guys.
Just talk to them every now and then, and talk them through your painting process.
So currently I'm dry brushing. She's already been based out, as you can tell. She's mostly And currently I'm just dry brushing her. What I intend to do with this is fill her with foam and make her a static drop somewhere in a haunt. Maybe ours, maybe somebody else's. But she's pretty. She's based, Alan based her off of Meg Knucklebones from Legend, if you're familiar with that film. Tom Cruise, back when he was still somewhat a normal human being, aside from what he's become nowadays, which I'm not really clear what that is. But as you can see, for those of you who don't know, dry brushing that you put a little paint in here, and you rub it basically off, and you just have a little bit. And basically it lets all your dark little corners come out. Which then I will go in later and highlight parts that I like. Make her look more and more gnarly. Right now I'm just trying to give her some color. We do a lot of witches. As you can tell, dark hour being covered with witches. We like them. I like them. I'm dating a witch. I don't know if she's watching right now. She may be. I don't know. Who knows? There are no accidents in haunting. Just happy little opportunities. One of the things I try to do is I try to make sure everything's smooth and evenly blended. I don't mind hitting, like, having certain parts like the eyebrows here, maybe a little bit lighter here, the bridge of the nose, the chin, the lips, things that I want to come out more. I can always go back in later and touch anything up that I want to touch. My phone is dinging like crazy right now. People obviously want to talk to me. Alan has this propensity to use every surface as a palette, which is kind of what I do now. Funny story is when I first started working for Dark Hour, Alan walked around the corner, like within the first week or so of me working there, and caught me washing out brushes. He's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Well, I thought I was saving the company money by washing these brushes." He's like, "How much do I pay you an hour?" I told him, and then he's like, "How much do those brushes cost?" I didn't honestly know. What it turns out is the time that I would spend washing those brushes was costing the company more than if I had just thrown them away. And so that was a pretty good thing for me to pick up on. I didn't know, it never occurred to me. I was used to working out of my own shop, and every cent really counted. Of course, there I wasn't getting paid by the hour. I was just making things. So that's nice. I've known Alan for about 5 years. Like he said, I started the haunt industry in a different haunt called Dan's Haunted House. Fantastic haunt. It's an outdoor haunt located in Dallas, Texas. Yes, that is true. I'm not cleaning the litter box, Skullbird. Yes, that's right. Robert Picardo did play Meg Knucklebones. It's awesome. And he's always, if you ever run into him like in a convention or something, if you're ever in one of those places and you run into him, comment on that. Don't bring up, I mean, it's okay that he was in Voyager and he did a really good job at that, but when you tell him that, "Oh, you were Meg Knucklebones," that really makes him happy. He likes that sort of thing. Guy's a pretty good actor. He's a really nice guy too. I've been very fortunate that I've met quite a few entertainers in the industry. You know, by and large, the majority of them are really nice, down-to-earth people. But maybe that's the type of industry this is, you know. Like, you know, I've learned that in order to play the best villains or the best, you know, murdering psycho people, they typically have to be the nicest people. Like, some of the scariest people on screen you'll ever meet, you meet them in real life, they're just some really sweet people. Really nice, really down to earth, really grateful to be in the position, have the opportunities they have. Whereas I've met some people who always play the hero type, and it, you know, kind of goes to their heads sometimes. They end up, you know, not being really a pleasure to speak with or spend time with. It's funny how that works out. Just an observation. Doesn't make it right. Doesn't make it wrong. Just my thoughts on the matter. I've known Alan, like I said, for about 5 years. I've only started working for him a lot recently. For the past couple of years, I've gone to a couple of conventions, 3 of them, all at once, all the same age. Think about, they all want a car at the same time when they turn 16. They all want video games. They all want their own rooms. And I mean, honestly, can't you blame them? I don't understand how people my age are still living at home with their parents. As soon as I could, I got out of that place. But, you know, we do what we have to do. Somebody asked me yesterday, it's like, what's your main goal in life? I was like, not dying.
How's it going, Rob?
Pretty good.
I put some real shoes on.
Yeah, I was wondering when that was going to happen. Considering what you said to me about wearing flip-flops in this shop.
Stupid flip-flops. All right.
Bye, guys.
Enough of that interesting stuff. Now we're putting mascara on.
Yeah, I'm really interested. Literally watching paint dry.
Yes, Robert Picardino. There we go. Okay. So here we are.
He's actually a really nice guy.
Yes, he is.
That's one of the things I was talking about while you were gone. How the people who play the most villainous characters usually end up being some of the nicest, down-to-earth people you'll ever meet. Sexy.
That point should be up in here, up in here. Y'all gonna make me lose my mind. Up in here, up in here. Y'all gonna make me go all out. Up in here, up in here. That's all the words I know, guys. You had faith in me that I could finish that out strong? Well, you were wrong.
You have the strangest catalog of music in your head.
Only parts of it. I don't have a full catalog by any means. Okay, so that hits.
Everyone's
That's
kind
it.
of coming out of it.
That's nice. Could do the old Be Something Studios trick and pull all the hair forward to hide the seam, but I don't mind it. These 2 points need a little bit of love. They need some rubber cement love. It should be an album name. Rubber Cement Love. Don't you think, Robert?
Yeah.
Like a Swedish metal band? Rubber Cement Love. All right, so that looks pretty good. Let's figure out this ear hair. $5 every time I heard that, right?
Comes in your 30s.
Comes in your 30s.
I scare my kids with that all the time. Just wait till you start growing back hair.
Okay, so that gives me the general shape for the ear. And again, I'm watching that ear hair direction. I need that hair to be going the right way. Now, based off of this ear that I drew, because the pattern for the ears was the same, I'm going to go ahead and draw the other ear. Okay? And actually, I'm going to put them on and then trim them. So, Rob,
Yeah.
where were we driving to or from where I told you my entire horror anthology movie series that I want to make?
Arkansas.
Arkansas, that's right.
We were going up to pick up all the medical supplies,
Pick up medical supplies.
which we got a hell of a deal on.
For the haunt, of course.
For the haunt. But I'm not allowed to talk about what it's for.
Okay, so that is plenty good. That one, okay, this is better. That's going to be really nice with that ear hair. Ear hair makes it better.
Said no one.
Right, said no one ever. Only you had more ear hair.
I have a friend, I'm not going to mention his name, but his brother tricked him when he started puberty that the best way to learn how to shave is to shave your ears. And so he would shave the backs of his ears. This went on for a while. Now the guy grows hair like a Sasquatch out of his ears.
That's terrible.
Full on, just mountain man whiskers.
So when did he get out of prison for murdering his brother?
He never murdered his brother. He probably should have.
Well, if he needs someone to, he could. I know some people.
You shouldn't admit that on live video, Al.
I just said I knew people. I didn't say I was people. I heard things. This is an entertainment YouTube channel. I could be lying for funsies.
He's lying for funsies.
That's right, exactly. I don't know anybody. Nothing like that ever happens to Gatorade. I mean,
Never trust a man who owns an alligator farm.
that's no. Never piss off a man who owns an alligator farm or who has access to one. Okay, so I hit the back of the fabric really good. Now I'm hitting the back of the ears really good. And this will overhang. This will be more ear hair than I need, which if it wasn't, you should be concerned. But I'll trim it. You know, I'm going to have excess that I can just trim off. And that is a wonderful thing. This is going to help the realism of him. And already, though, those ears look much more in check because of the hair on his head. Yeah, I like werewolves. They're so fun and fluffy. It's so fluffy I could die! Yeah. Probably shouldn't say that anymore. Won't keep that man guard. It's green.
She's getting it. She started.
It ain't easy being green. Someday you'll find it. The rainbow connection. The lovers, the dreamers, and me. Rob, you're on camera now.
I know.
Okay.
Oh, the sunlights. No, I spent.
That is a name, not an explanation.
Oh, I thought Miss Kermit Lover would.
Okay. So what happened was, this is my new werewolf mask. I think this is going to work out pretty good.
Now we probably got about 20 more of those that we can make out of that mold. So if you want your orders, you better make them now.
So this is the actor's eye, so this will work with contacts. That's what's fun. See, the ears are much more in proportion now that they've got hair on them and the head has hair.
Yeah.
They looked a little big before, but these are good howling style ears.
And howling is a strong word.
I think so.
Good looking word.
Okay, yeah, so that's I'm happy with that werewolf. I don't want anything that's going to interfere with this action, so I probably won't do anything on his chin. That's cool, Ezekiel. Just let me know. I want to do some other colors too. I want to do black for sure. So that is a werewolf mask.
Good looking mask, sir.
Ah, well, it looks funky when there's no head in it. Because this is a separate piece that attaches to you, is what it do. All right, so I'm gonna set this guy off to the side. I know my pattern works, and now I'll be able to pattern up. And I'll commit that pattern to paper. And this guy is gonna do the client who originally ordered it. And I gotta make him some gloves, which will match this. Yeah, okay. So let's commit that pattern to paper. We are plugged in and charging. What happened was, the reason why the stream was interrupted is because my phone battery died. I had unplugged the phone to move it around, and then I did not plug it back in. So my apologies, and oddly enough, 10 minutes later, when my phone was charged up enough to turn back on and stuff, it let me resume the same feed. I didn't have to like start a new live video, which I thought was kind of odd. And now the phone is saying low battery, and I missed that before, but it is charging too. All right, so the pattern works. Love that pattern. Happy, happy. Let's grab some paper. What you thinking, Rob?
Thinking brown.
Gonna take that witch to Browntown?
Ooh, pink red. I don't expect to get her done tonight.
No?
Not bloody likely.
All right. So again, I made my patterns in fabric, and now I'm going to transfer them to this paper so that they are repeatable. I don't like doing them on the fold, because that's just a butt with fur. So I'm going to go ahead and flip them while I sew. This is the flip point. Looks like that's the flip point, but really, that is the flip point. How to even out your lines. Okay, so now I flip. And this pattern I'll actually end up taking in to Dark Hour and give them a copy, because most of my masks I end up giving at least one copy to Dark Hour. And this is Moving Jaw, Werewolf, Face pattern. Cut 1. Fur direction. All right, and those are all the notes that I write on this. And now I'll use some scissors to cut that out. And I will have a few more of these guys to make. Werewolves and wolfmen.
Woo! 2 weeks away.
I'm picking any wolf women, not because I'm sexist, but because I had Ian do that. So we have a female werewolf mask at the show already. And Ian has a bit of a head start on me, so all of his are done.
He doesn't rest on laurels. Ah.
Not overly so. I could get stuff done at work if not.
You're like, why do you get there so early? So I can get stuff done.
And for traffic.
Yes. Mainly for traffic.
I live about an hour away from work, a half an hour away from work.
Traffic is it.
Traffic is the devil.
Point fact, one of our major highways was shut down all day today.
Yeah, we have a main highway right by Dark Hour, and the whole road was shut down this week. Like, they're replacing an overpass. So that's a big undertaking. It's a werewolf. All right, so this gets set over here.
The werewolves, that's that wolves.
Ah! Oh, sorry.
That was dramatic.
That was a werewolf hair sneeze. Werewolf hair sneezes happen. Werewolf hair sneezes matter. Do I have enough for this piece? I think I don't. What is my rotation point? Oh, this is the one I just did. That's my rotation point, and I don't have enough on this piece of paper. So I need another piece of paper. Hello, Michael Lassiter. Is my fridge full of bodies? Oh, my fridge is actually full of water bottles and that kind of stuff. Rob is limping, yes, because he did not listen. And I gave him a good, swift ankle kick because he desperately deserved it. Someone told him that limping would get him all the ladies. Yeah, it did not freeze. Actually, my phone shut off, but it continued the same feed. I'm amazed. All right, did you pack this guy up already?
Yeah.
Holy moly! Is it good in here?
Yeah.
Oh, this looks pretty good. Good job, Rob.
Has to be good.
This is a fancy piggin, ready to go to a customer. Goes on top of this mask that's ready to go to a customer. By the end of tomorrow, I'll have 3 more boxes ready to go to customers. All right, one more pattern piece to trace. And if I recall, I made a couple little changes in it, and I liked them. You know what though? While I did like them, yeah, I'm gonna keep it just the way it was because I fear change, my friends. And what I did was scientifically tested, and anything else I do will not be. There we go. Flip. Line the flip up on this. There we go. Now I have moving jaw werewolf. Back of head. Fur direction. Okay. Yes, that's the right direction. Cut it out. Maybe I'll go X-Acto, maybe I'll go scissors, maybe I'll leave it as a surprise. Linda, Rob did not let the mask dwell for 11 hours. I did. Rob poured it up and he told me when to pour it out, and I forgot. So I didn't pour it out until the next morning, 11 hours later. My fault on that one. Rob screws up plenty. So when I do it, I'll take credit.
Thanks.
I mean, plenty. Lots. What he's really good at is basing out masks in black that are not supposed to be based out in black.
So only happened once.
No, that's not true.
What other time?
Same mask, you've done it before.
Oh, yeah. That's true, actually. I take it back. Well, if I was perfect all the time, I'd have no room to improve.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
Maybe.
How dare you assume I have a feeling? I'm my man. You should know by now.
Hey, I can make an important masks.
Okay. Sweet. right, that is my second pattern piece. Ready to go. And I have both halves of the werewolf head all nice and patterned out. Any other time that I go to do the fabric portion of this project, I can go back to this pattern and that'll make it easy peasy. Okay. That guy folded up and out of the way. Again, Rob.
Just a little bit.
This I saved because the mask in it. So I'm not going to throw that away. They did a Halloween special with Alice Cooper as a guest on the Muppets. Yes, they did. But they also did one with Vincent Price. And I'm not a big Muppets guy, but how can you not love an episode of the Muppets featuring Vincent Price? You have to. It's the law.
You don't like the Muppets?
I'm not a big Muppet guy. No.
You like Uncle Creepy?
Which one's Uncle Creepy?
Yeah, he was the ghost. He was the ghost one. Blue. Got all this spinning hair.
Nope, don't know that one.
It's filled with monsters. How can you not like monsters?
They're not really monsters. They're like where the wild things are monsters. They're the nicest monsters ever. It's rare you see them eat a person. It is too. I said it's rare. It never happened. See, now you're making us fight. Hope you feel good about yourself. You're making us
Oh, I'm
fight.
sorry, his name is Uncle Deadly.
Oh, I know who that is.
That one.
Yeah,
That's the coolest one.
I guess.
You have to like a Muppet. That's a pretty good one.
I do enjoy the Muppet 3D Theater show at Disney. That's nice.
Is it 3D or
I might be 4D.
where they squirt water on you and all that stuff?
There's a lot of these. Yeah. Hey, Rob.
Yeah,
The base house and werewolves.
sure.
Okay.
Wait, I thought they were there stuff. What are you talking
Next step of basic.
about?
Dry brush basic.
What color you want? That color?
Flesh. Okay.
But not the teeth.
Yeah, do the teeth. Do it all.
Did it all?
Yeah, dude, that's first dry brush coat gets on everything. Yeah. There comes a point where I would just be spreading it around, and if I'm hitting that point, then I need to move away, get something else on my brush. Hey Rob, move down to this end of the table. Crowded. I got shoulders. Can't do that. How'd you get started selling my stuff? Best advice starting out selling to strangers. Step 1, make good stuff. Step 2, set a fair price. Step 3, sell your stuff. In all honesty, I don't know how you're marketing or what you're doing right now, but the way I started was I made stuff that I needed. I worked in a haunted house, so I knew what the masks that I was getting, I knew what they were lacking, and I made masks that filled those needs. So I would highly recommend that you find a product that fills a need. The world does not need another IT mask.
Or clowns.
80 people are making IT masks.
We don't need any more clowns.
80 people are making clown masks. The world doesn't need that. So yeah, if you're making clown, you're going to have a hard time selling your stuff. By God, have an original idea and make something, on your own. Or make something such a classic that you can kind of make it your own. Yes, werewolves are not new. This is not a brand new design by any stretch of the world. But I had a client, and he walked the whole show floor at Trans World, a show designed for haunted houses, and he could not find a moving jaw werewolf that looked good, that was comfortable, and that he could see out of. There were a few in silicone, but he's in South Florida, man. Should I see you selling your wares? But if you got something cool that the world needs to see, then by all means, send me some pictures of it. Send me a picture on Facebook. If I think it's cool, I'll share it. And then if you have an Etsy store, if you sell on eBay, if you have a Facebook store set up. So whoever's asking about selling, where's your store? Where do you have it set up to sell? And if you don't have it set up to sell, maybe that's why you're not selling anything. It didn't freeze. I'm just being really still. Trying to drive that point home. Do everything you can right now to be set up to sell. Get on PayPal. Set yourself up with PayPal. People can pay you through PayPal. Put your bank card on Facebook. They can send you Facebook cash. Get set up on Etsy. So, all right, Rob.
Yeah.
Look at this one.
I see it's heavier.
Yep. So go heavier.
I went heavier. Okay.
The way you go heavier is you do it again. Yeah, there you go. Watch your brush strokes. I'm not saying it's a problem, I'm saying it's a common problem.
Yeah. I learned that first time. Got on me.
Apparently I'm good at yelling at Rob. But we all have to be good at something.
Apparently I'm good at listening.
Maybe.
You give me lists and I just go through them.
That's true. And at least 3/4 get right. Sometimes half. Normally 3/4.
But eggs.
So the key to dry brush, having the right amount on your brush. Also, for the guy or girl, I did not see, who wants to sell their stuff, where are you posting it? Where are you putting it that people have the opportunity to buy it? I don't actually try very hard to sell my stuff, in all honesty. It just kind of happens. But what I do is I'm out in front of people a lot. I'm doing YouTube Lives. I'm doing Facebook Lives. And that sells product because people see it while I'm making it. They see me make one for a client and they say, oh, okay, I could use one of those. And with this amount of exposure that I have, I talk about how the client might use it, and then, for some haunters, that gets in their brain, oh, well, I use that. Look at this one. This one's not done yet.
I think that's pretty close.
That's pretty good. We are burning through the variables tonight.
Get all these done. Very nice. And you can start working on other options.
Next we have apocalypse masks.
Yes.
I have about 12 of those to do.
Do you want to start those?
Well, as soon as this round of werewolves are done, in all honesty.
So,
And then I've got a demigorgon to build.
Tuesday.
I have
Because you're busy Sunday, right?
a war to plan in Gilder.
Frankly, I'm swamped.
Frankly, I'm swamped. Nice reference pickup, Rob. I like that.
Actually, Chris Sarandon is one of the nicest celebrities I've ever met.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was just a good guy. He's right up there next to Elvira as far as famous celebrities.
Random odds and ends I've made are starting to sell. Well, great. Make it less random. Make it a thing. Start selling it. Etsy, Instagram, and Facebook. Good. Good. Okay. People have always been into horror and Halloween. They've always been into it. You are just discovering the scene. I assure you, it's always been there.
Always. Look at Vampire. Look at Vincent Price. Look at Hammer films. Go back even further.
Always. I was pointing at you, Edie. Skeksis are kind of Muppets. Podlings. Delicious.
Goth. Garth.
There you go. So, hello, Haunter's Toolbox. Not unfortunate.
No, that's a ton of sense.
Oh,
I don't know Monsters Toolbox that well.
Haunter's Toolbox is awesome. They're the ones doing the patches.
Oh yeah, they are.
Rob was very impressed with the patches that you guys had
I think
at a trade show that he went to.
I think it's a damn good idea.
And if you want to talk about your patches, there's some haunters on this evening. Not a ton. It's a quiet night, but still.
Love the patches, guys. I think it's a brilliant idea. I think a lot. I know that our entire costuming department.
Remember what they call them? Scare it badges.
That's right.
I love it.
I still have the samples y'all gave me at Transworld. Or no, it was Hong Kong.
It was a trade show.
It was a trash. Turns out we go to a few of
Trying to go more than 100 years. So. Otherwise, they all run together.
We can do 3 this year. They all come together. Do something. They're a lot of fun.
Okay, so we're just basing out masks here, kind of a frenzy. This is coat number 1. That's what this is. Going to get one coat, and then I'll go back and I'll do it again. And I'll do another coat. I'm going to grab another mask, because I got a lot of masks to do. See, that flesh color almost looks a little green with that black under it. Is that hard? Yeah, scare it badges.
Your wife is a big fan of them too.
So what kind of stuff do you make, CWF McAllister? Okay. You forgot to trim the neck on this guy?
Did I? Yes, I did.
Never get that on. Three-quarters. He gets right.
At least I don't. I don't think you appreciate the fact how much I censor myself.
You're probably right. So yeah, you guys will notice this doesn't take forever, okay? This isn't rocket science. If you have the right amount of paint on the brush and you go over the mask, then it's going to leave the black in the dark areas and put the flesh color on the high areas. So I don't have to think about it because my technique is good. If my brush were super loaded down with paint, then I would have to think about where I placed my brush every step of the way to ensure that I didn't get paint somewhere I didn't want to. And the way that I paint masks with this dry brush technique is a way for me to ensure that they all come out looking pretty good. I'm not the best painter in the world. I'm kind of okay at painting. I can do a solid paint job for a haunted house. I wouldn't hire me for a movie. But I can do a solid haunted house mask paint job. Again, because I've been in haunts quite a bit, and I know what is necessary. I'm not the best, I don't think, but I'm good. And my goal in life is not to be the best at anything, it's to be top 7. Almost doesn't matter what it is. If you're in top 7, you're in pretty good shape.
Except for the trials.
Wolfman. This one is the rare one that has a chin. And this guy is already ready for his second coat. It dries that fast. It's called a dry brush technique for a reason. And now watch what happens. As I put on the second coat, it is just so much brighter. Because what you have on there, it's going to darken out a little bit. But you've underpainted with that first coat of dry brush. And in some ways, a bit of a gnarly brush works in your advantage because it feathers your edges and stuff. Nice and simple. Ron, need a hand?
No.
Okay. If you bought a mask for me in the past 3 months, there's a good chance Rob poured it up. Especially if it was a plant creature and I patched up the teeth. You think it was a straight line compliment there for a minute, Rob?
No, I knew better. But I know how to pour those teeth now.
Yeah, now he's got the teeth down.
It's the hardest part of pouring a mask.
Thank you, Vanishing Gates. That is very kind. There's only 18 of them, so I figure most of them know me. Universal themed, monster themed magnets and keychains. Share me a link, brother. I want to see those.
I want several. Is that John?
CWF McAllister.
No.
Hello, Rodney Pope. I'm glad you caught it live. Lots of werewolves. I'm doing a lot of werewolves. Werewolves are big. Werewolves are huge. And people like them because they're not clowns. Okay. So once again, I'm just trying to rock through this dry brush. And the mask is sculpted with some detail in it. So you run a brush over it, and what happens is all of the little scratches and things that I put in as skin texture don't get painted because the bristles skip right over them. And then that pops your detail. Universal Monsters, Wolfman is my absolute favorite, followed by Frankenstein, the second favorite, followed by Creature from the Black Lagoon as my third favorite, followed by probably Dracula as my fourth favorite, The Mummy as my fifth, probably The Mole Man as my sixth. I'm only going 6 deep with Universal Monsters. Did I say The Mummy in there? Was The Mummy in there, Rob?
Nope.
Okay, well,
I think you're placed with Mole Man.
there's some good mummies, but I'm not a fan of the Presto Changeo mummy. I like my mummy to be a dried up monster and to stay a dried up monster. And Universal really loves to make their dried up monsters into people
And
because they cast stars in it and they want to show their faces and stuff.
I had so much hopes for Dark World.
Oh, for the whole Dark Universe, we'll call it. Yes, I had a lot of hopes for that too. Well, they're gone now.
I know. All gone.
I'm pretty sure the Dark Universe concept is dead. Dark Universe concept was Universal rebooting all of the classic monster movies in an Avengers-style way. Each one would have their own movie, then they'd all have a movie together. And I was really excited about that. Hey, with the faces of werewolves.
All right.
Singing interlude was brought to you by a musical. I forget what musical was that.
Sound of Music.
Sound of Music. Gotcha.
Or National Lampoon's European Vacation.
Oh, okay.
The Hills Are Alive, The Sound of Griswold.
The Sound of Griswold.
Yeah. Clark sings it in the exact same spot as Julie Andrews in The Sound of Music. No?
I didn't really
No?
see that one.
No?
No.
No sword fighting and monsters?
No. I only watch movies with sword fighting and monsters.
There are Nazis in The Sound of Music. Those are kind of like monsters.
They are. But they're not supernatural monsters.
Well,
I don't count people monsters.
the Zauberwaffe.
Otherwise, I watch CNN.
The Zauberwaffe.
The Jabberwocky?
Zauberwaffe, the magical force, the occult arm of the SS. Never mind. Too deep. Sorry.
There he goes, getting all Hellboy on us again. Werewolf jaw. A happy werewolf jaw.
Nice thing.
What I don't like about this is it's just the bottom jaw. It looks ridiculous. At some point, I want to strap 2 of those bottom jaws and just wear 2 of them.
That'd be fun.
Just one on each, you know, so there's no top jaw. That would look rather ridiculous.
It wouldn't be a werewolf.
No, it wouldn't.
Why couldn't it?
It'd be like a killer shrew.
Are you gonna do that?
Yeah.
A killer shrew.
The killer shrews, man.
You know, I've never seen a Shakespeare haunted house.
I guess you haven't. Now, you could do a Shakespeare haunted house.
Yes, you could.
You have the ghost from Macbeth,
The witches from Macbeth.
the witches from Macbeth.
Yes, I have the ghost from Hamlet.
Yes, you could have Hamlet's dad's ghost, I guess. In all honesty, the Midsummer Night's Dream
Right?
has some, all the fairy stuff could be cool.
You also got Richard III, that murdered bastard.
Good times.
Good times. Plenty of sword fights.
Yeah, lots of sword fighting. Some monsters.
Your queue line entertainers would be Rosencrantz and Guildenstern.
They're good.
That's right! That's right! I'm showing entirely too much culture. I better stop. I hate to ruin my reputation.
All right, I'm getting there. I'm getting there. I'm getting this werewolf face out. See, I do the roof of the mouth, I do the teeth, I do everything. Fleshful fantasy. Oh, flesh. And I think once I get this guy based out, I'm going to revisit Piggin and see if there's any more painting I have to do on him, or if he's going to be ready to move on to hair.
That's the question, really is. What kind of servants are the witches left?
Dark Hour Witches? I like monster characters. I want things that aren't people.
I like to be things that aren't people.
But the hard thing is, I love costumes that are roby and flowy. But roby, flowy costumes lend themselves to people. You know?
Unless it's a witch.
And I like the concept of, characters that don't talk and they're stoic,
I love
but they're crap characters outside because you have to interact with people. So it's tough.
You haven't had a good enough mind.
No, we've had some good ones, but they're limited. It's limited. Especially if they take a hard line trying to be scary, they get stuck. You could do Caliban, the half monster from The Tempest. That's an idea.
Nice.
We're building up a Shakespeare haunt here.
Evidently.
Crocodile face. Is that a Shakespeare reference?
It is, I don't know.
I know that there was the Alligator People with Lon Chaney Jr., same guy who played the Wolfman. Oh, okay, so this guy needs a round two of, this guy needs round two. He's a little light in his loafers. This is how that base turns out, Rob. This is where it's going to end up. So it ends up that light and creamy. So it takes a couple coats. But I'll also add some white and dry brush it a second time. Two bottom jaws, not a Shakespeare reference, two bottom jaws. It'd be like an alligator face. You're right. It is weird seeing Alan in shorts. I freaked all my staff out this week at the haunt by wearing shorts some to work. You're correct. You know what? And I've got to change. I really like the Hunchback of Notre Dame. I do think that Charles Lawton actually played him a little better than Lon Chaney Sr. However, Chaney Sr. looked cooler, and Chaney Sr. had to do it all without speaking. So that makes it better.
That's actually characteristic.
I would love that.
For Dark Hour.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I love that idea.
That'd be great.
Because I was thinking about that, like, that would be a good film. But less Marty Feldman and more actual Frankenstein.
Less Marty Feldman, more Bela Lugosi's Igor.
Okay.
When Bela Lugosi played Igor in Bride of Frankenstein, and he stole the show pretty much. Really good character acting, just looked amazing, and was terrifying.
I will go study that. I feel like this guy needs a second break.
Kind of that out of the mouth side bitching. Igor does the work. Igor does this. Igor does that. And just.
Why do I think that plays into my nature?
And talking about Franklin's taste, and it's a good.
That sounds fun.
Now they let him go because they hang him so he didn't die.
Yes.
So that was the rule. If you hang them and they don't die, it said to let them go. We're going to let them go.
It's called double indemnity.
Right. Can't hang him again. Gotta wait till he murders somebody else.
Times. Okay.
Mix that in with a little bit of the Igor from Nightmare Before Christmas.
You got it.
Master, the hands.
I will come back to you next week with a fully realized voice.
That'd be cool. I'll help you with a hump. If I had $1 every time I had to say that to someone.
You avoided a lot of that in high school.
Apparently I'm an excellent wingman. No, helping someone is fine. You sent pictures. Great. Awesome. That works. And you want critiques. Okay.
Oh, nope. I missed one.
Huh?
As soon as I get these done, I'm probably going to split them.
Okay. What time is it?
Like 9:30.
That's cool. Master all drained?
Yep.
You'll set up the fan as soon as we're...
Yes.
So what I've done is I've added white to this base, so it is going to be a lighter color. I'm going to dry brush on that less. So I'm getting more paint off of the brush. And now that, so then I have a gradient of color in between the black and the depths. And that's going to make a smoother transition, but it's going to really just cream up this skin and make it more of the werewolfy that you want. Well, your biggest enemy with dry brushing is having too much paint on your brush. Too much paint on my brush. Too much. Sorry, this just happens sometimes.
He's just an unrealized singer, folks.
I went to lead singer in a band for a little while.
Yeah?
You know why? Because I was in a band. Terrible, by the way. I can barely hold rhythm. I was the drummer in the band, and we learned at our first gig that our lead singer had major stage fright. Like major. Like, oh, there's people here, now I can't sing. I'm not doing it.
Well, that's frustrating.
Whereas I have no shame whatsoever and was just fine getting up there and singing badly.
Oddly enough, I can relate to that.
We did a couple shows, and I would hang out by the drone so he could feed me the words. I didn't know all the words. I knew the tune, but yeah. I also have no sense of pitch whatsoever. So all the pitch was wrong and bad and terrible.
You're really selling yourself here.
Sure, man. I don't give singing lessons. I give monstering lessons.
Monster.
See how that's just a fuller, richer color because you have this color down there? I'm not covering up all of that. I'm only covering up some of that. But that gives you depth. That's depth of color. This side has 2 colors. This side has 3 colors. Ooh. Yeah. Yeah, Rob has nightmares about my voice.
I do. I hear it at work.
That's because I work for
Oh.
radios.
Yeah. Rob, can you come to my office? Of course, nobody wants to hear.
It's not always a bad thing.
No.
50-50.
50-50.
Oh, these werewolves get me excited. Almost all werewolves get me excited, for the record. I love werewolves. But I'm very happy and proud of this mask. So I found a really cool black fur. It's not a fur per se, it's like a shag fabric. It's black. So I want to do a black werewolf and do the back in this shag fabric because that is really breathable. And I think it'll be much cooler for a performer to wear if you are in a hot environment. But I can't find it in black and gray, so. What's that, Robert?
You've been working on making it more comfortable.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to live, man. I need to be able to wear it for hours and hours and hours. I've got a promo on Sunday that I'm going to be a stilt Wolfman for, and I'm going to be in that suit for 6 hours. So I have to be able to be in it for 6 hours.
Are you going to be outdoors?
Yeah.
For 6 hours?
Yeah.
Man, you better hydrate.
Oh, I will. Hail hydrate.
Hell, hydrate.
Boom! Shalakalakala.
I kind of like these orange moles.
Okay.
There's more coming to it. I'm just getting it highlighted.
Where do you buy your mask straps, and are there different straps for the lower jaw of the two-part mask? Yes. Where I buy my mask straps is I buy 4-inch Velcro, and I put it together, and then I cut it to make 2-inch straps. So my straps are almost all Velcro. Now, in the two-part, they're strapped with elastic because they have to fit a variety of heads, and it has to be held snug. Because I like saying the word snug. Don't you like it, Rob?
Yes, I like moist more.
Snug's a good word. It has implications, but no one knows what they are. Oh, what a creamy Wolfman! See, and then I can go in and brown it up with the airbrush, make them all schmexy.
Things you don't hear every day.
Creamy Wolfman.
Creamy Wolfman.
That'd be like a beverage flavor, or like a specialty ice cream shake.
I'm not drinking it or eating it.
I'd like 2 creamy Wolfmans, please. I think you're missing an opportunity, Rob.
Not so drink.
Here's something I can teach you on YouTube. Fat people like to sit down. Old people like to sit down. Fat old people really like sitting down. They don't like to do anything else.
Injured middle-aged people like to sit down.
Linda, all but one of these are for dog days at dark hour. One of these goes to Florida to a friend of mine who has a haunted house there. Because he placed an order for it at Transworld, and I happen to already be making it. I wanted at Transworld to have a full werewolf costume, but it's one of the ones that I cut for the sake of time.
That's not the costume that made me sad.
It made Rob sad that I had to cut the pirate ghost. But I will do the pirate ghost next year at Transworld.
It's so awesome.
It could be awesome.
It will be
I have
awesome.
to make sure it's awesome. Okay, there we go. Round 2. Now I'm having a hard time telling which ones have round 2 and which ones don't. I think that guy has round 2.
All mine have been done twice.
But not with the new creamier color.
And you should be able to tell that. Yeah, much better. So that orange was just in there to get some pop.
Okay, Rob. Okay. Okay.
Thanks.
What?
You're like, okay.
I was agreeing with you.
All right, on that note, I'm out.
All right, see you, Rob.
You want me to just leave the gate open?
I actually hit the button for the sliding gate, open the sliding gate, go out the sliding gate, and then hit close that with the key.
Works for me.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
With the key code, I should say.
Is it the same button on the remote?
It's the other side. It's the other button.
All right, I'll see you in the morning.
All right, man. Thanks, Rob.
No worries. You're going to be there tomorrow, right?
And what time is it now?
I don't know.
And no, I'm not there tomorrow because I work all day Sunday.
It's 9:42.
Okay.
You're at work all day Sunday?
Yeah, I have a promo.
Yeah, but that's not how it works.
Well, that it's dark hour work. It's hours, man.
All right.
All right, man. See ya. Thank you. That second coat goes on pretty fast and easy because it doesn't go in as many places. You really want to pop the cheekbones, you want to pop the brows, pop that muzzle out, all those places that stick out, and leave it a little bit darker in those recessed spots. But I do want to hit those teeth. Want to hit those teeth, teeth, teeth. Want to hit those teeth, teeth, teeth. Okay. I'm now in chase my tail mode because I need to get all of these jaws painted up. If I can get all of these werewolves based out tonight, then I know that tomorrow I can knock out all the airbrush. No problem. If I'm blowing and going, meaning flat out like a lizard drinking, then I should be able to paint up 10 masks in a day. And I don't quite have 10 werewolf masks here. I think I've got 6 or 7. So my goals for tomorrow are to hair that piggin over there. So I have a fancy piggin. And then once I hair the piggin, I will airbrush all of these werewolves and use the pattern that I've got that I made tonight to hair all of these guys. So I should be able to do that all tomorrow. Maybe I'll go live a little bit. So here's the difference between the first coat that we did and 2 coats. See how much lighter that is? Just really makes it pop. Much more in the skin. It's a little bit dead. That's more like skin. And even then, it's a light skin tone because I'm going to airbrush brown over top of it. But I'll probably do a couple more of these moving jaw masks, but not a lot. There's a guy named Rollis Khan who does them, Mad Monster Party masks. He makes great moving jaw masks. I'm just trying to fill some holes, meaning there isn't a good full werewolf costume right now that isn't, well, there's not a good full stilt werewolf costume that's just boom off the shelf. And that's something something I want to achieve. Where you can buy my stock werewolf costume and it's going to be awesome. But Rollis Khan has some great 2-piece masks that are awesome. But they're very production-y, and I don't know if you can get them from him customized and a little bit higher end. I think in a fashion, he's kind of going for a retail market almost because of the production of his pieces. They're very nice. They really are. I have some for characters that I wear all the time. I took Rollis Khan's Krampus mask and I made a mask for a character for me named Nicodemus, who is a monk. So they're great bases if you can repaint. And in the haunt, they don't need any repaint. But Nicodemus is like a Q-line character, so he's a little more in people's face. So I had to up the detail a little bit. All right. What'd you miss? I based out a lot of werewolves. So much werewolf action this evening. It's all about werewolves. And I don't know if you saw the finished werewolf. This is the finished haired wolf right here for, finished moving jaw 2-part werewolf mask. Looks like he didn't listen. All right, and go make stuff.